Hi there, I'm Dennis Hall and I'm a digital nomad. Welcome to the second video in the series dedicated to the lifestyle of the digital nomad. In this video we're going to be answering the question, who can be a digital nomad? Who's best suited to the digital nomad lifestyle? Now we're going to be moving at a fairly quick pace, so I'd suggest that you make yourself comfortable because for the next 10 minutes or so we're going to be covering quite a lot of ground. So if you're ready, I certainly am. Let's get this party started. So the question, who can become a digital nomad? The answer is pretty simple, just about anyone. The digital nomad lifestyle does not discriminate. Anyone that's capable of writing a document in their tablet computer, sending an email, or making a phone call on your smartphone is capable and has got all the skills they need to start seriously considering adopting the digital nomad lifestyle. It is that simple. I come across lots and lots of people who ask the question, but who can do that? I don't think I can do it because I've not got, and I can't. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that becoming a digital nomad is a lot more complex than it actually is. In my experience, the two main groups of people who are best suited to becoming digital nomads are those that are under 30 and those that are over 50. Now they're pretty broad groups, and why do I segregate them into those two age categories? Well, the under 30s, for example, they're pretty well oriented towards the digital nomad lifestyle, or at least what it takes to become a digital nomad, because they're what I refer to as technology natives. See, they don't know a world before the internet. They don't know a world before smartphones and desktop computers. Chances are this age group has also got less responsibilities than their older counterparts. Most of them will not have taken the decision to have children at that point in their lives. They haven't committed themselves to purchasing a home, for example. They also tend to be a little bit more bold in their decision making because they don't have the same sort of fear factor. Their lack of experience in a lot of things provides them with a sense of invulnerability and courage that they take full advantage of, and why not? So these are all qualities that will help establish you as a digital nomad along the way. And then the over 50s. Well, the over 50s are not technology natives. They're what I refer to as technology immigrants. See, they do know a world before the internet, before smartphones. And that means that they know what used to happen compared to what is happening. That's not a bad reference point to have. They also tend to have declining responsibilities. If they've got children, the children tend to be older and less dependent. Chances are fairly high that any financial commitments they've got are more manageable because they're geared up for them. They've had these responsibilities for quite some time. So mortgages, for example, tend to be lower than people just entering that environment. This age group is also streetwise. They've been there, they've done that. They've got a lot of experience. And that means that their decision making is based on what they know rather than what they feel. Now don't panic, because if you're not in either of those age groups, it doesn't prevent you from starting this journey, from becoming a digital nomad. You can still do this. You're probably just going to have some more elements to take into consideration, that's all. And when it comes to becoming a digital nomad, that's certainly one of the first criteria that you need to start addressing. You need to have a plan. So in terms of who can become a digital nomad, just about anyone, as long as they have a plan. And your plan has to incorporate all of the things that you currently take for granted. And probably the biggest thing we take for granted in all of our lives is family. I know we shouldn't, but we do. How would you becoming a digital nomad impact on your family? And I'm not just talking here about your partner, your spouse, or your children, if you have those. I'm talking about your wider family circle, your parents, your siblings, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews. They're all likely to be impacted by your decision to become a digital nomad. So you've got to take that into consideration. You know, for example, if you do have children and they're school age, well, okay, what's going to happen with their schooling as a consequence of you becoming a digital nomad, as a consequence of you electing to live and work somewhere else in the world? Will their schooling be affected? Would it be affected adversely? Are there going to be any language issues you need to come up with solutions for? What about social issues relating to your children? How will they fit into a new culture if you are indeed moving across borders? What about your partner, your spouse? Are they on board with this? This isn't something you can do just by yourself and expect everybody else to be dragged along in your jet stream. It doesn't work like that. You can't be a digital nomad without the complete support of your partner or spouse. And then, of course, there's your skill set. What is it that you're going to do to fuel your digital nomad lifestyle? Very, very few of us have got enough resources, financial or otherwise, behind us to be able to drop everything and just focus on plugging into the internet every now and then, reading a few emails and then going off and travelling the world. If you are going to create memories, if you are going to generate experiences, then that's going to cost money. Where's that going to come from? Who's going to be prepared to pay you for the skill set you decide you're going to engage with? And how would that work? What sort of overheads are you likely to have? Not just the overheads in your new destination, wherever that may be as a digital nomad, but the overheads that may remain when you leave your current home, when you leave your current place of residence, whether that be in a town or a city or a country area. These are all things that you've got to take into consideration when you're planning to make this move. And certainly some of us will have fewer loose ends to tie up in that space than others. But regardless of how many loose ends you've got to tie up, you can still become a digital nomad. Now, in a broadcast video like this, I can't hope to address all of the areas that are likely to impact on your decision to become a digital nomad. I would really love to, but the video would take a lot longer than 10 minutes and we still probably wouldn't cover all of the possible combinations. So in that respect, head over to my blog, adventuresofadigitalnomad.com, and make contact. If you've got a specific area of concern, a specific aspect of your life that you're wondering, how can I manage that and still become a digital nomad? I'd be more than happy to give you some input in that space. adventuresofadigitalnomad.com. Make contact. I would love to hear from you. So, okay, you've got a bit of a plan. But what is it that you are going to do? You know, we spoke about a skill set a moment or two ago. What does that look like for you? If your current skill set isn't mobile or transferable enough to be able to deliver online, to be able to utilise the internet to generate revenue, then you need to find something that will. And here's another magic thing about the internet. There are so many business opportunities online. I'm not talking here about the Nigerian scams or the get-rich-quick schemes or the pay $5 and I'll show you how to earn $5 million in the next 2 weeks. None of that stuff. There's plenty of that. I'm not talking about silver bullets, magic wands, genies, or fairy godmothers. I'm talking about real stuff, real services that you can deliver to people that will pay you for those services, that don't take a lot for you to learn, a lot for you to master, that you can in fact pick up within weeks, not months or years. Now, to save you some research in that space, there's a website address I'm going to give you that you should head along to have a look at some of those opportunities. And that website is called readymadebusinesses.com.au. readymadebusinesses.com.au. That's a website that specialises in providing business structures, business ideas, business processes and systems in all sorts of areas of online endeavour from as little as $99. Now, granted, you're going to need to put in a little bit of effort and a little bit of work and a little bit of planning around a $99 business plan. But hey, it's a great place to start. And it will give you some great ideas. And there's lots of other websites in that space too, but there's a good one to start with. And as I say, if you make contact with me on my blog, I can give you insights into a whole lot of other areas as well. Bottom line with being a digital nomad is that your skill set must be flexible, it must be transportable. And it must be something that's in demand. And at the same token, it's got to be something that you're going to enjoy. Now, my journey in this digital nomad experience is not unique, but it is interesting. And I said in the last video that I would expand upon that. So here's a little bit more detail in how I developed my platform to be able to become a digital nomad. Let's go back a couple of years, well, 3 to be precise, a little over 3.5 now, to 2012. And my wife and I were talking about, well, okay, what are our next moves in life together going to be? What do we want to do? What's on our bucket list? Now, at the time, my wife's daughter, my stepdaughter, was entering her senior years of high school. So we knew that anything that we considered doing had to take that into account. Because moving her from her area, from her school, just wouldn't be fair on her development and her opportunities at that point in time. So my wife and I decided that whatever we were going to do, we weren't going to do it until 2015, until after her daughter had graduated high school. Because we knew that once she graduated high school, she'd want to go on to university. That would more than likely involve some sort of move out of our home area, which is Noosa on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. So we knew change was coming for us, one way or the other. And we could either decide to take that bull by the horns and direct the change ourselves or let the change direct us. So we chose the former rather than the latter. So we started to put plans into place, and we decided that what we would like to do more than anything was to experience living in another culture other than Australia. Both my wife and I come from non-Australian heritage. Hers is German, mine is English. So we decided that we would like to spend a couple of years experiencing the European culture, and we settled on moving to Germany. Because my wife had always wanted to reconnect with her heritage, to make contact with some of her relatives that she'd not seen for a long, long time, and it was still within striking distance of my English heritage. So we put plans together for that to happen. And without going into too much detail on what those plans were, come July 2015, we made the move. Now, did everything go according to plan? No. Some things happened that we weren't expecting. And some of those things were pleasant and some of those things were not so pleasant. But that's life. You see, whilst things might happen to change your plans, if you don't have plans, nothing is going to happen. We've been living in Germany now for a little over 10 months, since July 2015. And we are thoroughly enjoying the experience. We are creating opportunities for ourselves. We are seeing things we otherwise wouldn't have seen. We're creating memories that we otherwise wouldn't have had. And it's all thanks to having a digital nomad lifestyle. Now I'm going to expand a little further on that planning process and what that looked like for us in an effort to make it clearer as to what it might look like for you in future videos. Right now, my 10 minutes is more than up. So I hope this video has helped you understand that no matter what your situation, no matter where you are at present, you can become a digital nomad. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.